me see. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Oh, let me see. Okay, I think I see the mic on my end, so I think you guys should be able to hear me now. All right, let's try this again. Hello, hello, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Yes! Glad you guys are all here. I'm glad to be back on here as well. It's been probably, I think, about a month or so since our last video, which has been okay. Now, actually, the first thing that I saw. Yeah, Drew, you became a member. Thank you, but you've been a member. What the heck happened with that? All right. So really quickly, I know I gave my members a quick FYI and basically what was going on. For the past month, I've been actually feeling pretty eh. Um, so you guys know that. So about 3 months ago, I was out running with my dog, slipped, hit my head pretty hard. So I've had post-concussion issues. And then we all came down with the flu. As it turned out, the flu wasn't COVID, surprisingly. It was a really, really bad flu, despite it seeming and looking and having all of the symptoms of it. And we caught it from people who did have COVID. So go chalk that one up. But recovered from that. We did one live stream, and then almost immediately after, I had an abscess under my arm, which we first thought that basically it was swollen lymph nodes, which is like automatically, okay, could be like a whole bazillion different things, and trying to get an appointment with the doctors, all that stuff. It turned into an abscess, which is a staph infection, and then that transferred through other parts of the body, and then basically I was pissing blood for close to a month. So CTs, MRIs, all of that fun stuff. So it looks like it's nothing really horrible. And antibiotics that I took for the staph infection probably cleared the other thing down there too. So it should be okay. So at least I'm feeling a lot better, which is good. And going from there. But James is back too. But along all those lines, so actually I did go out to the range for the past twice in the past week to play with a bunch of stuff. I know. Well, hold on. Let me actually remove this message. There we go. And I'll put that one up. So did get a chance to start going back through and doing videos and stuff that I had planned right before I got sick. And finally glad I did. So the first one, okay, so that's actually, here I go, going for my check notes. So the first one, I guess you guys know that I have the CZ600. Finally had a chance to go out to the range, so took it out 3 times. So shot it on 2 different occasions. Then I went back the 3rd time, planned out the video, recorded the video, got it out to 700 yards. And it's crazy. So I mean, it's a really nice rifle. It shoot. Here, we'll go back to this one. It shoots lights out. So this actually right here was a 4-shot group. I thought it was a 5-shot group, but we did have one flyer. And I got to go back for the footage, but I believe that was actually a flyer, because on that, so this was the 4th round. On that 4th round, the bolt was really hard to lift. And I know there are some batches of Hornady 6.5 PRC, a little bit inconsistent. So that round was definitely hot. But, I mean, it should be perfectly capable of doing that in a consistent 5-shot group. It looked like that there was a little bit of a shift from the cold bore to the rest of the group. But yeah, so, and again, the rifle's still basically being broken in. The CZ600 can shoot lights out. Of course, at the same time, the CZ600 has the CZ600 issues. And CZ has been trying to find me so I can send them the rifle back. And so if you guys aren't familiar with CZ 600, they have a, well, actually, what this one's a weird one. So they have a voluntary recall, but they're basically saying stop shooting the CZ 600. All right, damn it. All right, Drew. Thank you, sir. So let me try this. We switched internet connection. So let me try this. We switched internet connection. So it's possible that's why a little bit, but it says that I have good signal. So I apologize for the choppy video. Let's monitor it. Well, this is part of why we're doing it. All right, so the CZ600, it had a mandatory recall. Basically, what they found out was that it was possible to put the barrel in, but not all the way, and you can still pull the trigger and make the gun go bang, even though the barrel isn't installed properly. So they're doing a mandatory recall where they're going to permanently modify the barrel in place, which is basically then going to get rid of the number one reason to buy the rifle, which was that you had the ability to do your own barrel swaps without having to go anywhere else. So it's just complete stupidity. So you have that. So I'm not sure. I'm definitely not going to get the rifle neutered in place. So the fix is they're going to permanently attach the barrel in place by, I think, using different types of screws, and they're using some sort of a thread locker so that it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to just unscrew it and swap barrels. You might probably have to drill them out or whatnot. So definitely not doing that. Number two, so basically what I can either do is just keep the rifle exactly as it is right now, or number three, I can sell them back the gun, because the CZ600 I have actually bought it with my own money. It was actually bought it from my local FFL. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Otherwise, I mean, there's a lot to like about the rifle. You do still have the issues. Um, it's funny. It was like you'll see it in the video. I'll have the video. I think I'll try to release it on Wednesday or Thursday. But on one hand, it looks like CZ talked to the right people and they're like, hey, how can we make the ultimate rifle? And then the bean counters got involved and like, okay, how can we make the sucky? So like, for instance, on one hand, the receiver on the bottom, it's a flat bottom receiver, which is really, really nice. Basically, it makes it more stable, less likely. It's more metal to stock contact. On the flip side of it, the polymer stock, so I did the shorts video on that one already, but where it was on the forend was rubbing the barrel, and there is absolutely no bedding whatsoever in the stock. It's just polymer. That's it. There is no bedding of any sorts on the stock, and it doesn't have what's the word? It's dropped out of my mind. Where you drill a hole, you put a metal sleeve in there, so you have metal to metal contact. What's the word I'm looking for? Do. Come on, somebody help me out. So basically, where the action screws are, what you can do is drill out a hole, and then you put a metal sleeve in there. So then basically you have the metal sleeve that comes in contact with the stock, and then you have the screw in from the action screw or bolt in from the bottom. And pillars, there you go. There you go, pillars. So you don't have any metal pillars or anything else in that stock, so it can definitely help and improve it. On the flip side of it, the stock itself, the design is by far the best polymer stock that I have played with on a gun. So it's like they do like some of the big stuff right, and then like we just have like this stupidity. The trigger is not aluminum bed. Yeah, yep, exactly, Ryan. So yeah, I mean, so the gun definitely has a lot of potential. I mean, you have some plastic, you have a plastic bolt knob, plastic shroud. Action is smooth, but the shroud is already nicked up. The trigger is actually not bad at all. It has 4 presets, so it goes from 1.3 to 3 pounds, and it comes in probably stock right around 1.8, something close to there. But yeah, I mean, so it's definitely a very, very interesting gun. And once again, I have it in 6.5 PRC, so we're basically done with it. I mean, it shoots lights out. I mean, it shoots really, really, really well, and I think if we actually put it in a proper chassis and all that stuff, it's going to be great. On the flip side of this, I think like CZ just does a completely horrible job. So the gun was delayed. Then they rolled out some of them, barely sold any, and then all of the sudden, now we're doing the recall. And while we're getting all of these rifles back, there's none available from a distributor who already fixed. So it's like, what the hell, guys? And then so combine that with the fact that you have the locking lugs are inside the barrel rather than the receiver. I don't know if there's going to be like a big aftermarket for that gun, so it's like it might be like one of those best kept secrets that no one really cares about. So it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see and follow up with that gun. Beyond that, I actually found a Hound 1500 in 6.5 PRC. That's already in the back of the trunk, so I'll probably shoot it next week. Ruger American AM, finally going to go out and shoot it. I do have a scope for it and everything. We'll do that. Right, let me go back for some of the questions. Are bolt knobs all standard thread like with Ruger knobs? Generally, yes. As far as I know, most of them are here. Hello, Joe, James, Ryan. I hope you're enjoying your tripod. So last month we did a giveaway for a Sunway Photo tripod. We had one for the public giveaway, and then we also had one more that was for channel members only. So hit join and become a channel member. We are going to do the same thing this month, where your odds are significantly better. My buddy just purchased a Christensen's Arms 6.5 Creedmoor in the Mesa chassis, 6.5 pounds. Should I be worried about my shoulder with that? Depends on the break. So I don't think so. I mean, on one hand, it's 6.5 Creedmoor. If there's a muzzle break on there, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Nothing at all. Because keep in mind, I mean, we shot that 6.5 Creedmoor Savage Axis with no break or anything, and that was like right around the same 6 pounds or a little bit less. All right. Okay. And once again, Drew, thank you again for being such an awesome person. James, thank you for joining House Texas. Texas or Florida? Texas, I think. Yes, Texas. All right. So, in other news, look at what I have here. Ta-da! So, this is the new. I'm sure. Wait, wrong side. This is the new Evolve 5 to 25 by 56, and it is not my scope. So, this one actually was for Alex, Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews. And because he can't come and pick it up from the United States, he has them shipped to me. I get to play with it, and then I'm going to forward this on to him. So I've actually had the opportunity to play with this for about a month now. And I'm not going to say it in the video, but oh my God, it's such overpriced crap. So, okay, well, it's not overpriced crap. It's just overpriced. Um, Interesting scope. So it is Chinesium, basically 34 millimeter tube, 5 to 25. We have 25 mils of internal elevation adjustment and 17 mils of windage. 56 millimeter front objective and has the shark fin already built in, which is really, really nice. Um, the peculiar part is so MSRP is like $8.99. I think they have it on their website for $8.49. And I think I've seen it on Amazon for like $7.50 or $7.75. I wouldn't pay that. The problem is a basic Arkin SH4 Gen 2 or the Vortex Venom for a couple $100 less is a better scope than this, or at least it's more feature packed. So like it's not a bad scope, but it's definitely, I think, marketed towards Blackhound fanboys and fangirls. So it's definitely a big step up from, I don't have it here, from the Genesis scope. Definitely a big step up from the Genesis scope in terms of image quality and everything, but I mean, 499 tops. It's like it's a decent first attempt, but it's just not that good. So number one is the eye box is like not that great, and the field of view is significantly smaller than Arkin EP5, the Vortex Venom. And as soon as you put your face behind the scope, you can basically see how, I mean, you have a massive ring around, but you can see the black ring. That could have been used for something a little bit better. It's just, yeah. So that's number one. The Reticle is, I guess, if you're going to dial, it's not horrible. But if you're used to using holdovers, like the Reticle, it's your first Christmas tree Reticle. It feels like it was designed by somebody who wanted to cater towards holdover shooters, but has never actually held over in their entire life. Um, it's like it just yeah. I mean that's what it is. To top it all off, I mean there's only 9 mils worth of holdovers, and that ordinarily wouldn't be that bad, except the problem is because you only have 25 mils of internal elevation adjustment. So you generally can't shoot past a mile with the scope. Or you're holding over like in areas where like it's just empty. Then the turret, I mean, the turrets feel fine. I mean, they feel really, really clean, solid, all that stuff. But it doesn't, there's no indicators here whatsoever letting you know on what rotation you're on at all. Like none. There's not even like a line there. And then for windage, I actually had somebody comment on the shorts video that I did from this at the range. It feels good. The clicks, everything, it feels solid. But despite it having 17 mils of windage adjustment, so here we are at 0. You can go 5 in one direction or 5 in another direction. That's it. There's like a stop in there that it won't let you go past that. So once you set 0, you can't go more than 5 mils in either direction. So it's silly. It's really silly. Yeah. So that's the scope. And image quality, honestly, so I mean it's an $800 scope, but it doesn't have the same image quality. If Karchark was here, we can ban this person who is doing that. Okay. Yeah. Wait, is Derek here? Is a resident Blackhound fanboy here? Hey, Derek just came in right in time for the Blackhound bashing. Yeah. Where was I? Okay. So image quality, honestly, it's like it's not horrible. It's definitely sharp in the center, fairly decent contrast, but it's It's not better than the Venom. Definitely not better than the Venom. It's not better than an Arkin SH4. And it's not better than your $800 competitor. So, I mean, kind of like in this world, you have the $500 price point, you have the 800. So around the 500, let's say we're going to have the Vortex Venom, Arkin SH4, Bushnell Match Pro, and then on the $800 side, so you're going to have the Strike Eagle, Burst RT25, you're going to have the Element Titan, and then kind of in between, you have the Arkin EP5. I guess that's closer to the $500 price point. This isn't better than any of them. So it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, really, this should be a $500 scope. That's what it should be. Like I said, I mean, otherwise, it's like I don't see any reason to buy this scope for the money. Not unless it's under $500. It's just what it is. I mean, it's definitely a good upgrade from the Genesis, but I don't think anybody should actually spend their own money on them. I mean, granted, it does come with cheapy scope rings. It does come with a sunshade, and it actually comes with a kill flash, which I guess should tell you who they're trying to target. And there's a cleaning thingy, and it does come with two level things so that you can actually level it on a base. So, yeah. Video on this is done. It'll be out probably also next week as well. And actually, so you guys can see on this is actually, I love this thing. So Sunway Photo, they listened to me. They came out with this rail. So you have an Arca rail on bottom, and you have a Picatinny rail on top, and a small section on the bottom here. So you can actually mount this to a tripod and then mount a scope to it. So it makes scope testing a lot better. And if you have an old scope, you can mount it this way and use it as the spotting scope if you wanted to do that. So, woohoo! So that's the Black Hound Evolve. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Let me actually go into YouTube and ban this person. One second. Oh, wait, no, okay. The card shark is in here. Let's just actually just ban this person. There we go. Wow, that was choppy for a second. Okay. I am going to have to get those external antennas or tell people to stop streaming. All right. So that's the Black Hound Evolved. Let me know if you have questions on that one. Once again, the video is going to be out. Oh, hey, look, Derek is on here. I just saw Derek pop on. I'll bring okay, so I'm gonna bring Derek on right now. Okay, car truck, yeah, just you should be able to ban those. Farkle, yes, that's probably what it is. They actually just search for streams that are live, because you can go on YouTube and just do a search for live streams, and they do that. All right, let me get so yes, since we have a resident Black Hound person here, and I know he played with us more, I'm going to bring Derek on so he can defend his love interest, and then I'm going to get my headphones, and then I got something else just came today in this package. So take a guess as to what this is, and maybe we'll do a giveaway or something. Oh, good. I covered the label of exactly what those is. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just get my headphones. Do, 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 do. Drew, that is not a flash hider. That is anything but a flash hider. Yes, it's a type of a muzzle brake, but what exactly is it? Guys are getting close. Not MDT. All right, left is on left. Ooh, Ryan is really close. What's going on?
What's going on, guys?
You're
So,
alive.
yes, I'm alive. Yes, I am alive.
Okay, so Ryan and
Ah.
Drew are very close.
Oh, I know exactly what it is.
Go ahead. What is it?
It's a tuner brake that's designed by a guy out of Australia.
Yes, it is.
And our Anarchy
So
Outdoors just started
finally,
selling them.
yeah. So finally, I've been talking to what's his name? Damn it, BJ
Oh, okay.
for like 8 months, and then so this is the second generation, and they had production issues because he was supposed to send me one like 8 months ago. They had production issues. Then he finally got him up. He sent me messages on Instagram. I'm like, yes. Then he forgot to send it out. I reminded him. He finally did send it out. And this thing is freaking beefy.
I think Aaron was running one on his production rifle over at the
He's
Hornady PRC.
actually, I believe you're right. I believe
So
you're right. So
I
yes.
just
So
took.
this is the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just took the EC tuner brake off my 6GT 2 nights ago.
You took it
So
off. Why?
I took it off because for some reason it wasn't tuning with my rifle. So I'm gonna
Okay.
save it for the new rifle that I'm building that I'll have finally get the damn barrel for next month. It's only been
All right.
what since SHOT Show when the order went in.
All right. So, Mr. Blackhound, what do you
You
think?
know, I'm not gonna defend anything for Blackhound on this one. Honestly, I agree with you. I think it's a piece of shit. Um, I don't think they really put much thought into that line. They put more thought into the Emerge line than they do the Evolve. And, I haven't talked to the Blackhound person since about a month and a half after SHOT Show. And you know something? Their loss, not mine.
Yeah. Like it's just a weird line. It's definitely a weird line of optics. I mean, there's nothing horrible about it. It
I,
just feels like it was like, okay, we need to. It felt like, while the hottest thing right now is a first focal plane entry level under $1,000 price point scope, and they felt like they needed to be in that space, and they rushed the product rather than actually thinking it through and researching it as to what
right.
people would actually want.
Well, here's the other problem with that company. They've gone through so many different management changes in the last 6 months. They don't know if they're coming or going. So, in all honesty, with it, I
Yeah.
will agree with
Well,
you. I bought an Arkin SH4 Gen 2 with my own money
yep.
when they were doing the big 30% off sale because I
Okay.
really wanted to try one. And I'm actually running it on a PRS rifle. I'm getting it zeroed in tomorrow because my ride
Mm-hmm.
on went out on me. So I'm really looking forward to shooting that scope because I really like the reticle. Um, I'm not Mr. Arkin or anything like that, but I really do think they got a really good scope. I've shot with one of the guys that works for Arkin at a couple matches now. A local match over here in Three Forks, Montana, and over at he was one of the ROs over at the Night Force CLR Steel Challenge that Ryan and I went to.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, it's one of those. I really think Arkin has a good line of scopes now, and I'm looking forward to actually shooting with it tomorrow. I will say Arkin actually has some really nice scope rings, which is quite
Yes.
shocking.
Oh yeah.
And their flip up caps are really nice too. So the only thing I didn't get was their bubble level, just because I don't like the way it mounts myself.
Yeah.
Personal preference. I don't like it in front of my 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 elevation turret or in front of my parallax turret. But
Yeah.
that's just personal preference on my part.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. Hopefully, I'm going to be picking up the EP5 to put on the new rifle next month. But for now, I just got my Vortex Venom in um, from my 5 to 25 by 56. That just came in three
Okay.
days ago. Uh,
Did you buy that
all
as
right.
well?
I used my Vortex points I had when I was working
Okay.
at a store. So I waited a couple months for that one because they were out of stock. But I'll honestly say the Venom is a hell of a lot better scope than what this new Blackhound is. And honestly, I'd rather shoot the Venom than the Blackhound.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you know what it is? It's kind of interesting. I'm glad you brought up Arkin because it seems like Arkin and Element. These are definitely shooters first. Who, I mean, they've had business issues.
Right.
Blackhound, it seems like it's business people, but not actually gun people. And that's where
Yeah,
you have
they're
great reticles on the Arkans, you have good reticles on Element, but both
right.
companies had some QC issues and definitely some mismanagement in a couple of times.
I'm really hoping Element gets back with me and sends me that new 3 to 18 by 50. I'm
Yep.
really looking forward to that one. I think that is going to be how can I say this? That's going to be the fire stick in the mountain that everybody's going to want to use for PRS if you're looking for the under $1,000 budget rifle scope, especially with the
Okay.
internal adjustment that it has. Um, if you're running a 30 MOA rail, you're going to get 22, 23 mils of adjustment out of it and sit on 20 mils. I think it's going to be a good budget ELR scope if somebody wants to try to use it for ELR, but I think it's going to be a more of a way for somebody who's shooting 22 ELR to go to because you can get out to about
Yes.
600, 700
See,
yards.
yeah, that honestly, I was going to say that's probably where that scope fits in better. So, for those guys that don't know, actually, I'll pull it up right now. Element has the new Titan 3 to 18. It has a lot of internal elevation adjustment.
Oh, while you're talking, I want to answer James's question real quick. James, I am loading 33XC. Um, my friend Travis sent me over some actual 33XC brass. He's my spotter, and I'm spotting for him at the King of 1 Mile next month. So, uh,
Ryan, don't you feel cheated?
I, oh, and just so you know, I have Ryan's tripod.
You took
So,
his tripod?
well, he's let me borrow it, and I'm gonna have to get one now.
I can hook
Because
you up.
okay, well, that's the one thing I don't have in my PRS kit yet is I don't have a shootable tripod. It was a
Yeah.
nice thing to have. It definitely worked out well in this last match I went to last week, and with everything, and got my first place win. So that was nice, even with a broken scope.
Woohoo!
So, which is kind of funny. Even right on apologized that it broke, and they're like, "We'll get you a new one," and I'm like, "Okay, sounds good."
All right, so this is the new one. So Titan had the 5 to 25 by 56, which is it's a hell of a scope.
It's a
I
phenomenal
currently have
scope.
it on my 22, my Gucci 1022, and
Uh,
they
I'm actually using
launched
it
it.
for the King of 1 Mile next month.
Okay, I wanted to shoot that match, but so I mean, yeah, this year. Well, I was supposed to go to King of 1 Mile Ukraine and King of 1 and 2 Russia. But
Right.
it looks like next year maybe it's going to be. So when Russia takes over Ukraine, are we going to do 2 King of 1 Mile matches next year? Or are we
Oh
still going to do
Jesus.
one?
You guys are killing me.
Well, hey, no. If you went there, you probably would be dead right now.
Probably,
Um,
but
all right,
that's a whole
so
nother thing.
all right, so we have that. Um, very solid scope. Little heavy. I mean, that's probably the only thing, but has 43.6 mils of internal elevation adjustment. For an 18 power, that's not bad at all. Once again, my
No.
only caveat with that is you're gonna need more than 18 power to shoot ELR. So where I do think it's gonna be really good is, like I said, I mean, I think it's gonna be ideal for extended rimfire shooting. Because 18 power is going to be more than enough to get you even out to like 6, 7, 8, 900 yards. And with 22, between 4 to 500, you'll be able to get out there with it. So I think it's going to be great for that. I know when I was at the Ruger Media event and we're shooting with Leupold Mark Fives, starting at a mile, 25 power was starting to get, it was difficult to start seeing targets, but obviously it also depends on how big of a target that you're going to be shooting at as well. So,
Right.
yeah. But once again, I mean, for the money, I think it's going to be a really, really, really solid scope.
Well, I don't have a Leopold Mark V right now or a Gen 3 Razor to put on that rifle. So I took the best scope I had, which is my Titan. My GPO, I had some issues with, but I've been sitting with the design guys on that one lately. But that's a phenomenal scope too. I was hitting out to, oh geez, almost just about 2,000 yards with that one at before I really started having some issues with the windage. Um, Other than that, I mean, the Element's a solid scope. I mean, I've gotten out to 1.2 miles with it on the 300 PRC.
Yeah.
So,
For Chinesium, I think it's probably the best Chinesium that you can get.
right.
All right.
I can agree with that.
Although, if you need more internal elevation adjustment in that 5 to 25 area, the Arkin EP5. It has a little bit of a shallower of a eye box, but yeah.
Yes.
Right, so
I remember looking at that when I was at SHOT Show. I'll be honest with you. I'm really impressed with Arkin when it comes down to the reticle design.
yes,
That's where I'm stating my facts on this with the reticle design that they have. And my buddy Ross a while back told me, he goes, stop looking at things as glass clarity and stuff like that. He's like, start looking at reticles. Start looking at usability of the scope. And I did. And I'll be honest with you, I've gotten to the point where half mil subtensions are a lot easier for me to do than it is like 2/10 or 1/10 or whatever. Like like almost, I don't want to knock on Right-On for their PSR reticle because I've been shooting it for almost 2 years, but there's just so much going there that it's so much easier when you got to do quick holdovers and when you're being timed. So, but
so all of those are close. I will still say that's going to be my favorite reticle so far.
one's at the Burris SR2. That's a damn good reticle too. It really is.
Yeah. So basically, this has both your half mils that are going to be easy to see, and it's going to have the 0.1, the 0.2 increments. And
Right.
once again, for holdovers, this has 20 mils of holdover adjustment right in there. So you can really get out there if you needed to.
Yes. See, what scope is it? Oh, shit. I can't talk about it, but I'll talk about it offline.
What brand?
GPO. I'm working with them on a new reticle. So,
okay.
Yeah, I've been working with their R&D department for like the last 6 to 7 months. We got some stuff coming out. That scope will be out and be announced at SHOT Show this year, and I'll be at the announcement for it.
Okay. All right. So actually, APRS6, is that the one that's on the Cronus? Because I've been on the CC600.
That one's on the Kronos, and it's on the Ares, and it's on one other line of scope that Athlon has.
All right, let me actually pick this one up. APRS6. Um,
Actually, I would love to work with Athlon, but for some reason they're not getting back with anybody right now. So not even a couple of their sponsored guys.
is Dustin no longer there?
I have no clue. I haven't heard from Dustin. I've
Okay.
emailed him. Same with Shane over in Element. I haven't heard from him either.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I actually, yeah, I have this. So I've been playing with this reticle. Yeah, that's the one I've been shooting with the CZ. Um, it's not a bad reticle. It's a little simple. Um, it's not a bad reticle at all. So I mean, it basically, in my perspective, what I you guys actually can see this here. I don't like when this top half is busy. I can't stand that. So what I do
Okay.
like about the because basically, let's say for example, if you're spotting for somebody, I mean, you don't need. I mean, yes, you need the holdovers, but you don't need like a ton of hold unders. And this black line, the vertical stadia line, is like completely not necessary. So I actually do prefer the ones where like it's just going to be like 2, 3, 4 mils of hold unders, and then the rest of it is like this part is going to be clear. Um, which is kind of like the SCR.
Okay.
But no, it's
Like I
not a
said,
bad. It's totally a usable reticle.
so like I said, I'm looking forward to actually shooting with the Arkin tomorrow, um, and seeing
Just
on
make
it.
just make sure the parallax on it works.
Yes, it does. I already checked that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I have it on my 6GT. And it's like I said, I like the reticle. The clarity of the glass is really nice, even for a $450 scope. Um, like I said, I've been looking at stuff as more in the last couple months, more as usage of the reticle and like, is it usable? Is it user friendly? So I'm not looking at high price stuff anymore. Well, I am, but not like as because I'm trying to look at more stuff from like what's the most affordable thing somebody can afford. Um,
Okay.
being
Well,
that I'm bringing out
that's gonna vary.
that I'll make the announcement now to you on your stream that I am bringing out my own line of my first line of rifles in September October area.
Very cool.
So looking at stuff I can use that I'll use, it makes a whole big difference for me.
So, are you partnering with an existing manufacturer, or are you going to get your own SOC? I'm sorry. Are you going to be
Uh,
your own FFL and manufacture them?
our own.
Okay. Very cool. That'll be really
So,
interesting. Speaking of
and
new rifles, this thing just came out. The Sig Cross PRS, one of our channel members brought this one up. I'm like, have you played with the Cross PRS? I'm like, I've played with the Cross. I didn't know they have a PRS version. So it looks like Sig did release their Cross with a longer barrel. So longer barrel, you have a large Arca rail on here, plus a heavy contoured barrel.
what's the
Um,
weight on it? Does it say? I
let's
can't
take a
because I'm on my phone. I can't really see like all the specs. I'm just curious what the weight is.
14 pounds.
Okay, so you can use that in NRL Hunter heavy class.
Yep. So it's 6.5
So
Creed and 308 only. Um, but like I said, honestly, I'm a fan. I know they fixed the trigger issues now. But like I said, I was actually a fan of that action. I mean, it's pretty smooth.
it was
It
nice.
it looks very interesting. What's actually peculiar, so you can actually see it on here, but they have the Picatinny rail that also attaches on the fore end itself. which I suppose you would mount, let's say, for example, your ascended, your levels, any other accessories on there, like a dope card, things like that. Because I mean, obviously, you
Right.
wouldn't mount a scope to it. It would be silly.
There is people out
But you
there
have
that
a
would
little bit
try it.
more. Yes. But it looks like you have a bag rider already in there. It's not adjustable. You do have a length of
We can.
pull and comb height adjustment.
We know somebody who can make that happen.
You know, it's probably for that one. It's probably M-locked. You can just remove it and do that.
Probably.
But this actually looks like a really interesting rifle.
I like the fact that they put Arca Swiss on it. That's gonna be a big game changer for the NRL Hunter guys who are running, especially Team Sig.
Well, it'd be completely stupid not to put Arca rail on it.
Well, it was originally designed to be a hunting rifle, not a
Yes.
match rifle. So,
all right. So it looks like it is available, and $2,600, probably close to the MSRP on guns.com. Interesting.
Ooh, so they went up about $900 on it.
Well, no, the cross was more.
You can get the cross
then
right
again,
now for about $1,500 on street price.
But it's also
Yeah,
guns.com, and they charge a lot.
gotcha.
All right, so we have that one. Now, to take it a step back, so I'm glad you brought up Right On, because most people probably don't know, Right On and Blackhound are now one company.
Yep. Yeah, I found out about that one.
Okay, so what's the price point? Cronus, Ares, Midas. Okay, so we have that one. I love my GPO. Yeah, I have not played with GPO optics.
Me and Ryan both have a GPO. Ryan's been working with me with them. So they wanted a couple guys who were competition shooters and shooters' perspective on their new rifle scope line.
Okay.
So.
All right. So Drew, going back earlier, so Drew was wondering whether there's such a thing as too much muzzle brake. I don't think so, unless it's too loud for you. But I guess his question was specifically that it's too much, that it would start pushing the rifle in the wrong direction.
You know, when it comes to muzzle brakes, it goes into the engineering on them. Like, if it's not, how can I say this without sounding like a fucking tool bag? It really depends on the
I'm going to pull something up.
Really depends on the engineering on it, how it was made, what it was made of, is going to make the big difference. I know some people who have run Omni compensators on their rifles, and they just went to shit. I ran an EC tuner on my 6GT. I couldn't get that rifle to tune right now, so I took it off. I'm going to save it for the 243.
Yeah, that to me just seems weird.
It is, but the thing is,
that to me seems.
You put the tuner brake back on 0, and that rifle would shoot quarters. It would shoot dimes at 100 without even trying.
Okay.
So, and I'm running my 6GT now.
Maybe it was tuned properly from the get-go.
Maybe. So I was running that rifle at what, 30-20. So on a 108 match. So.
Okay. All right, so I'm bringing up the APA Little Bastard Gen 3. So the Little Bastard and the Fat Bastard are very effective muzzle brakes. Kind of like in that same ballpark, you have the Patriot Valley Arms Jet Blast. You're going to have the Area 419, was it Hellfire, and the Sidewinder. And I guess you can basically you can see like you have big ass ports, and all of these brakes are going to push it out to the sides. So it's basically designed so the rifle is going to go back into your shoulder. Now, the Gen 3 Little Bastard, and also you would see it on the Ruger Precision brake. you have these little ports on top. So here you have 8 ports. So you can actually, by removing those screws that are inside, you can kind of fine tune the direction that the rifle is going to twist. And you can, so basically, you can use that to kind of further help
Mm-hmm.
fine tune the recoil, so to speak. Um,
Right.
so you have that. And like I said, so I mean, I don't have the Gen 3 little bastard. I have the Gen 2 little bastard, which doesn't have the adjustable
I've
ports.
I've got a Gen
And
3.
and like I said, and I haven't played with it to do any of those changes. And my my RPR, which has the 6 ports that you can tune, I never had the need or never got deep enough in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I'll probably, I mean, honestly, it's like I don't have them here, but I like shooting suppressed. So now that more and more of my suppressors are getting out of ATF jail, I think that has been my preference. Um, so I would say that. Right. And actually, my laptop is screaming at me. One thing I totally forgot was to get the charger for it. So I will let
Right.
Derek talk about this for a second, and I will be back in a minute
Okay.
as soon as I get my charger.
Okay. So I shoot a couple different muzzle brakes on my rifles. I have the Kelby Atlas claw brake, which is a really good effective brake. I have that on a 6.5. So I have a 338 muzzle brake from them. I've got one of these fat bastards and a 338. I have it. I just haven't put it on my thing. It didn't fit the profile of my barrel right, so I'm not using it right now. But I do have another barrel being made, so I'll probably end up using it. I also shoot a lot of the Control Solutions brakes. Their Hexmod Gen 2s. I've got their 3-gun brake on my 308, which is my fun gun. If I just want to go blow powder primers and heads, that's my rifle. That's my go-to rifle. Muzzle brakes to me are kind of like a personal preference. Just kind of like when you choose a woman. If you like redheads, brunettes, blondes, I mean, they're all personal preference. So that's where I'm going to go with this. The EC tuner brake, by far probably one of my favorite brakes when it comes to a PRS style brake. I'm running a 6er brake again on my GT, which was custom made for my barrel. We're going to see how that shoots, and if it doesn't shoot well, then the EC tuner brake goes back on, and then we go back to the drawing board for another brake for the 243 Ackley. The 243 Ackley project, guys, I will be showing off pictures of that once I get the barrel. That is going to be one hell of a rifle. I've got brass and everything over here. I'm just got to I'm waiting for the damn thing to get here so I can fire form all this stuff. Ryan, what barrels are you going to run? So James. Ryan is running a 243 match. So you're going to be seeing videos and data and everything compared to like a 243 match versus the 243 Ackley. Is an Ackley improved cartridge really that much more effective for brass life? Is it really that much more better for accuracy? And am I really going to get that much more velocity out of it that P.O. Ackley stated? So you guys are going to be seeing more of that stuff coming up in the fall. Once I get about 200 rounds through my barrel, and I actually get the thing broken in. So look forward to that. That's actually a sponsored rifle that I'm putting together that companies have asked me to go shoot for. So I'll be shooting for them. Now, on another note, the actions we're using on our rifles are pristine actions. If you guys want one or you guys looking for an action, let us know. We can get you guys those in the short action 308 bullface. It also comes with a 223 bullface, which later down the road, I'm also going to be doing a 223 Ackley improved because a couple matches that I'm out here that are under 700 yards, well, I shoot the 6GT and burn all my good powder. So that's another fun fact and thing we're doing. Ryan, which row? Your guys. Which rifle and discipline? Oh, so the 243 Ackley is going to be a PRS setup. Me and Ryan are also getting a cartridge from another barrel made up called a 7 Saw. So it's for the parent cartridge is a 308, and I'm going to actually shoot that next year at Night 4 CLR Steel Challenge. So, nice thing about having this setup that I'm going to be able to shoot multiple barrels, multiple calibers, and be able to choose different disciplines from bench rest to field to PRS. So it'll work out one way or another. But yeah, sorry guys, I haven't done a live stream in a while myself. I've been busy with a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. Plus, I've been going to the range a lot. I've had to pretty much rebuild a rifle from the ground up.
Yay!
Because we were having issues with the chamber. So, but yeah, that's the 33XC, guys. That's a 285 boat tail on 116 grains of H50 BMG. This is going to, this is the cartridge I'm using to take to the King of 1 Mile. This is my main rifle. And then over here, this is a 338 Ackley Improved. This is going to be my backup rifle when I go down there. So all in all, I got 2 Wildcat cartridges I'm taking down with me, and hopefully they run flawless. So I'm looking forward to the match, and I think it's going to be fun.
So how many people are shooting that match?
I think there was 120 spots.
Okay.
So
it's interesting is so King of 1. So in the United States, we had King of 2 Mile for a number of years now that they've been running it. But internationally, that's where we actually introduced King of 1 Mile. And now we're shooting it in the U.S. for the first time.
So the reason why they're doing the King of 1 Mile now in the U.S. is because with the way ELR is set up now, it is split into 2 classes, light class and heavy class. So anything 338 caliber and under, and your rifle has to be 26 pounds or less, you're shooting in light class. Anything 375 and bigger, and your rifle can weigh up to 40 pounds, you're shooting in heavy class.
Even for King of 1?
No, the King of 1 Mile is light class only.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, because it'd be kind of stupid to keep shooting 50 cals and 416s and
right. So King of 2 Mile is pretty much going to be set up for heavy class only. I think there's going to be some light class shooters this year that will be going to it, but it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's also going to be more or less like an equipment race as well. I mean, King of 2 Miles generally has been anyway.
Right. And so, with the new cartridges that have been coming out lately, especially a lot of the Wildcats and the 416s, it's going to be an interesting one this year.
Very cool. Hey, look who it is. Panther Hollow. Hello, bud.
Hey,
so
buddy.
You missed the optics talks. Are you a Black Hound dealer? I think he is. Or he was.
I don't know. Black Hound doesn't really have that many dealers anymore.
But so basically, kind of like my take on it, like I was all about the breaks, and then like you start shooting with these things, and it's like it's so much more polite. The recoil impulse feels completely different shooting with a suppressor than shooting with a break. But it's so much better. So actually, this week I should have another 7.62 can come out of ATF jail. So when I do go to range with my friends, we don't have to keep swapping one can. Because I think now, when you have the opportunity to shoot with a suppressor, if you shoot without it, it's just impolite. Now, you can shoot with a suppressor for a King of 1, I assume, right? Yes.
I'm not. Well, here's the thing. Everything on your rifle has to weigh under 26 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's gonna. I don't know if anybody is gonna shoot with a suppressor. I know I'm not shooting with a suppressor. There's no way I would even want to try to suppress a 33XE. There's a
Why not?
lot of,
It should be.
I don't
It's
know, dude. That's
doable.
a lot of, well, it might be doable, but I'm just saying that's a lot of pressure behind that cartridge. But on top of it, my rifle already weighs, with scope and everything on it, 25.2 pounds. So I'm right there on that teeter totter. I can't really do much more to it.
Yeah. So basically, what I think would be good is if you combine a tuner and a can, that would be good.
So a 419 system, Area 419, where they have the suppressor with the built-in muzzle brake at the end of it.
Well, no. A tuner, not a brake, but a tuner.
Oh, a tuner, yeah. Eric Cortina makes a tuner now that's a 1/250 diameter. I've actually considered about getting one and trying to tune my rifle before I go, but I've got literally a month until I leave for this match.
Okay. That would be good next year. No, so actually being out for like the past 2 months, it's like it put a crimp on my shooting plans. I had so many intentions, but I am getting out there. No, so this is the strike without warning tuner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's a YouTuber challenge next weekend. Are you suggesting, or there actually is one? Who is
Oh,
that?
I'm not going to get involved with that one. I'll let him. So he called out Chris from Midwest Long Range, and he called out Josh from The Pursuit of Accuracy.
Okay.
So yeah, just go watch his video. That I'm not even getting involved with that one because I'm friends with
What?
Chris and everything and whatever. I'm just not going to get involved with it.
Okay, so who wants to explain what's going on? And if you want to hop on this one, let me know. I'll give you the link so you can hop on and explain this.
Oh,
Me,
Cyclops is
Chris, John.
involved with it now. Honestly, here's my thing on, and I'll say the same thing I told Chris. If you guys want to have a do a shootout, go to a match. See who the person is who can actually do the match.
Oh, but match is completely different. Match is not pure pulling the trigger discipline. Match is about being fine in a match environment, and it's two completely different things.
I can agree to disagree, but okay.
I'm sorry, a match environment's completely different. Okay, so I'll give you the flip side. Okay, who can shoot pistols well? I say, well, fine, yeah, let's go to a USPSA match and run it. And like, it doesn't matter how well you really shoot in USPSA or IDPA for that matter. Half of it is about strategy and gaming the stage. I mean, there's a lot of gamification to it. It's not purely who's the best shooter. It's like, okay, if you're talking about like accuracy and stuff, well, okay, then it's going to be like F-class shooting or truly like know your limits type thing. I mean, that's that type of an environment. Okay, so Karchak brought up a great one. So it's USPSA versus Bullseye. And so, I mean, like, I
Okay.
haven't shot PRS matches yet. I've been asked to, but from what I know, it's still a lot of.
You should.
It's still gamification. I mean, it's still going to be. There's still a lot of a gaming element to it. And like what's like some of the best USPSA shooters are going to be not the best bullseye shooters, and vice versa.
Right.
Or let's say,
No,
for
I
example,
mean,
here, are you going to tell me that the NRA service rifle champions are going to be good in 3-gun?
probably not, but I'll tell you right now, I will be playing. I will be shooting if everything works out. We'll be shooting F class next year, a couple matches.
Okay.
So
PRS is a golf game. I can see a lot to it. I can see quite a bit to that, yes. Even in terms of scoring. Okay, so somebody explain who pissed off who in this YouTuber challenge, because now I'm interested.
are you gonna go down and shoot it now, Max?
Not this weekend. So tomorrow is my wifey's and my mom's birthday, so we have that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you're screwed.
yeah.
Oof.
But you know what we should
Awesome.
do though, and one of the things we tried to do was so around Shot Show, we wanted to do a get together. So Logan was um, West Desert Shooter. We were supposed to get together out in the desert
Right.
after and do all of that stuff. And I think we'll
Yep,
actually
I
try to
remember.
do it this year. Glasses for the minute,
F
actually,
class is
no.
for the mess.
Equipment race as well. See, I would say
Yeah, but
no.
okay. F class only
King
goes
at
out
two
to
mile.
1,000
King at two
yards.
mile is where the men that actually know how to shoot.
ELR in general is where the men know how to shoot.
Um,
So
okay, so you go ahead, Derek. Explain this to me. What's this pissing contest?
just somebody called somebody out um, on some shit and whatever. And I don't want to get too much into it because I'm the type of person that is let the bolts run, and see who's the best. I mean, that's when it comes down to it. Run your bolt, not your mouth. So, but well, ELR and F class is the same thing. I beg to differ.
In
There's a
terms of
big
skill,
difference.
probably, but I mean,
Rifle style? No, completely different. ELR, you're actually shooting off of a bipod, where F class, you're shooting off of a stand.
well, ELR
Or
as it is right now.
even
Not when
before, even though
no,
a lot of
people were
people were
shooting off of people were shooting off of the Phoenix kids and all of that stuff in the beginning.
still
What
classified as a
of King?
bipod.
No, it was like one of those like huge things.
IFTR. Okay.
Okay, so yes, my local range club, they have an F class. Those guys are nuts. The amount of money and time they have spent on fixtures, tech, mind blowing, botch stuff. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a
Oh yeah,
bench rest. You took like
pretty
any of
much.
those type of stuff. It's it's nuts. Okay, FTR. Yes, there we go for sure. That is a skill. So it's basically um, see, the only thing that bugs me about F class is basically like no, can't use a suppressor, muzzle breaks, or any of that stuff. Exactly.
No.
308 win game. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you go shoot 308s at 1,000 yards, and there you go. And then somebody's gonna bring up shooting 22s at 600.
Let's go play in the desert. We'll play with moving targets. Okay. I mean, with 308s. Been there,
That's
done
unfair to
that.
the East Coast people. All right. On that fun note,
All you gotta
um,
do is enlist for 4 years, buddy. Come on, let's roll. Come on, let's go have fun. No, no,
okay, so
FTR. No, FTR is it would be a challenge because if people don't know how to shoot a 308, then I'm not going to disagree with that. But at the same time, um, I play with 308s for fun. This is where it's at for me.
well, I mean that's your current
So
thing.
yeah, this is my current thing. This and the 6GT. These are my two current cartridges I play around with a lot lately. And there's nothing like. Honestly, I'd probably get more into rimfire. Dude, put up some money.
On who?
Oh, oh, this could be good. This is gonna get good.
Okay. See, what we really need to do is start planning our Shot Show 2023 get together and match after. So,
Right,
Shot Show. Well, I told you.
because
So
I'll be
I put out. We have Shot Show. So it's going to be a long 10 days for me in Vegas this coming year, because so there's two conferences that out. So okay, well I didn't go to the other one, but so you have Shot Show, which is from Sunday through Friday, and
mhm,
then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is Affiliate Summit West, which I wanted to really get to. And now that they're not requiring masks or jabs or any of that stuff, I do
Right.
want to go. So there's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is available for me in Vegas instead of flying home and then flying back.
Right. That makes sense for you. Well, I'll be driving to SHOT Show this year, so talk to you more
If there
about
is a
that
SHOT Show
off
this
the
year.
camera. I
Mm-hmm.
think there will be. I don't see why there won't be.
Well, if the world doesn't collapse, or if you don't catch monkeypox.
Nah. Or just be stupid like Joe Biden and fall off a fucking bicycle.
Hey, he has cancer and he has COVID.
Mags, you guys are very reserved. I fell out.
So I think he meant mags, as in for magnum, so or for guys that can't read the wind.
I'm being
I'd agree.
competitive when I'm shooting this one. This is all about being competitive because I'm going against
Now,
some of the top shooters in the country at this match.
yeah, it'll be interesting to actually see who shows up. I mean, it's still a newer type sport. It'll be interesting to see the reception that King of 1 Mile gets in the U.S. versus a lot of the matches that are out west.
Right.
When is that again?
That is August 26th and 27th.
Is it already full?
Yes. Spots have already been given and chosen and
Okay.
all that good fun jazz.
Next year.
So next year, rumor has it that they're going to require people to actually go to like a spear point match or two to get qualified to get into the King of 1 Mile.
Yeah. Well,
So
or if you shoot another match somewhere else in the country, that should qualify you anywhere. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
right.
Somewhere else in the world.
Possibility. I don't know how they're going to have it set up this next year. It's going
Well,
to be
that's what they
interesting
do
to
for
see
King.
how they are.
That's how they do qualifications for King of 2 Miles because it's one basically organization.
Right.
So you can earn points by shooting in the match in a different country, and a lot of those matches. I mean, it just for me, it would just be cool to visit and shoot in another place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no,
So
it's
that'll be fun.
gonna be an interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun match. I'm looking forward to it. It's been my first time shooting with Trent, my spotter, and I'm spotting for him. Is there a qualifying match or a set of test shots to see the shooter knows what he's doing at those direct distances? So for this year, there was like 325 or 20 or 330 shooters that put in for this match.
Wow.
No, I know you're yanking my chain, Panther. So it went down to a lot of things. Like, have you ever shot any type of match before, like a PRS and ELR?
Yeah.
How many matches have you shot? Do you have any like law enforcement, military service, stuff like that? From what I could tell. So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be an interesting match to see where everything lands on it because I know a couple shooters that are going. And it's gonna be one for the books.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, one of the things to also keep in mind is that like some of those bigger matches is like you've had people show up who've never shot at those distances and they're shooting at the supposed nationals level match, and it's like, okay, well, is that really the type of atmosphere that you want to put on? I mean, what's the match fee for that one?
$250.
Oh, it's still not bad.
No,
That's not bad at all.
it was $500 for team for Night Force.
Okay.
I know me and Ryan are definitely going back to Night Force again next year for that one. That was a great match.
Now, is that the
Very
one that you
well
have to hike?
organized.
Is that the one that you have to
Yeah.
hike between stages? Like, so it's like 10 miles of hiking during the day or something like that?
So yeah, you're hiking a lot, a good amount on that one.
Okay.
Definitely be prepared to hike. Me and Ryan actually put together a old all-terrain stroller and put gun racks on it and had our guns off of that and all of our gear. So all we had to do was push it. Where a lot of people were hiking like your 50, 60-pound rucksacks and their like 20, 30-pound rifles, and the bot is back.
So I'm thinking it might have been like a different match or anything, but you basically had to have everything on you. And as far as I know, you couldn't use strollers. Because that's cheating.
At Night Force you could. So we used an older style off-road stroller and turned it into a gun cart. And it was perfectly fine. No one said anything. Actually, a lot of people looked at us at the end of the day and was like, damn, we should have done that. But it has its advantages.
How many pounds did you guys lose?
Shit, dude, you're drinking water all throughout the day. It was hot out there in Wyoming this year. It was hot. It was one of those, you're drinking 2-3 bottles every time you're going to a stage. It was hot. But it was a fun match. Met a lot of people out there. Met a lot of guys from Team Beretta. Big shout out to them. We met a lot of other shooters from a couple different companies. I met Brian Litz from Applied Ballistics.
Yep.
That was really cool. Vortex Sniper Challenge, great shooting event. If Vortex ever put on an event again, I would probably actually go to it. I know Ryan went to the Vortex Challenge a couple years back.
I think it's the Vortex one. That's where you're supposed to get everything and carry everything yourself.
Yes, but Vortex isn't putting on that anymore.
Oh.
They stopped putting that on once COVID hit. So, Ryan actually, I think, was one of the last ones. He went to one of the last ones they had. So, it was definitely a match for the not so weak hearted. My rifle went down after the first day, and a lot of people looking at me like, "Aren't you pissed off?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "This just tells me what I need to do for next year not to be in this predicament." But it was fun. We're gonna go back. We actually did really well for our first year out, so I want to go back again next year and do better. If my rifle didn't go down the first day because they keep live scoring on practice score on that one.
Okay.
What was it? I think me and Ryan were bouncing between 12th and 13th place in teams on the first day.
They just finished one this year in Missouri.
Oh, okay. Vortex Sniper Challenge. Yes, I didn't even know the Vortex was putting on matches again. Huh. I'll have to look into it. Because I know I was thinking about flying out to Missouri and doing a rimfire match with Chris from Midwest Long Range next year sometime.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
I should come up there to the Northeast and drag you out of your house and make you do a match with me. No.
Probably. As soon as I fully recover, yes. As long as there's no more red blood cells in my face, yes. So along the same lines, the cans, I also wrapped up, and I'm going to have a video probably on Tuesday about purchasing suppressors through Big Daddy Unlimited and saving actually a good chunk of change for them. So they actually helped me sponsor that video. But actually, I bought 4 of my last 5 suppressors I bought through Big Daddy Unlimited. So we have the Odin Works. This is actually a really interesting can. Badlands 762, so it's titanium with a stainless steel blast baffle. It's been awesome can. Then I have Yankee Hill Stinger 22, Yankee Hill Resonator R2. That should be cleared this week.
Nice.
Another 762 can, which is supposed to be very quiet.
YHM usually puts a good can together.
Ooh, good question. Great question. Is it my own perception, or is there something going on, or just how the industry is per years? Seems like advertisement has slowed down, if any at all, stopped by many manufacturers. I would qualify that a little bit. Like, what kind of advertising are we talking about specifically? or talking about like sponsorship or what. What I will say, so having connections at some of these manufacturers and just being involved on the finance side with them, um, I think a lot of the companies are re-examining how they're spending the money because, on one hand, so I guess let's say the last 5 years, companies have been like, oh my God, you got to advertise and you got to be on social media. You have to be on TikTok, Instagram, all of that stuff. And companies have generally just been spending a crap ton of money and not getting results. So, I mean, for example, like you talk to a lot of the companies that are advertising on Instagram, like a lot of those ads. So one of the companies is they make Gucci clocks. I'll just leave it at that. Um, they made some mega awesome receivers for AR platforms. That will give you the name of the company. And they spent a crap ton of money. They spent guns. They sent guns to influencers and all of that stuff, particularly on the Instagram side. And they got like zero return on it. Um, and what they found is that, well, hey, you know what? Like Instagram and TikTok, like those quick type of platforms, they're amazing for building awareness, but like they're really shitty as it comes to generating sales. And I would say YouTube is probably one of the only places where, you know what, if you send product out to influencers or creators, you can generate some sales out of it. And the reason why is because, let's say, for example, if I do a review video, odds are somebody who's watching that video is interested in buying it, and that video can either kick somebody over the edge and make them purchase it. And generally, because let's say, for example, like, so Blackhound sends out a scope, and let's say, so $800 MSRP, that means it costs them about 160 to $200 to manufacture this thing. There's no way in hell they can hire somebody to do their own video for a product that's going to cost them less than $1,000 or $2,000. So it
Right.
it makes a lot of sense to send it to people who are in place in order to make it work. Now, more broader advertising, so let's say, for example, like magazines, things like that. Well, circulation in gun magazines has been on a decline significantly, and like that doesn't convert. I mean, it generally it's not gonna convert a lot at all. And a lot of the circulations, I mean, it was interesting. So like in a magazine, they're supposed to disclose what the circulation is. I was looking for like some of the guns and ammo circulations. I'm like, you know what? Like, even as a small YouTuber, which I definitely still consider myself, some of our videos are going to have more views than the entire circulation for the magazine. That's how crazy it is. But meanwhile, you still have companies who are like, well, we need to advertise in guns and ammo or recoil because that's just what we've been doing. That's what we're supposed to do. Um, and like I said, and more that hasn't really been working. And then honestly, so I mean, Nick brought it, Karchuk brought it up. Um, COVID. So during COVID, I mean, when everything was selling through the roof, let's put it this way, it's like a lot of the companies didn't feel like sending out product or advertising because it's like, what's the point of generating extra sales when they can't produce anymore and
Mm-hmm.
everything they put out into the channel is going to be sold anyway? So it's like, well, why should they spend more money on that? Um, Obviously, this year so far, I mean, it's sales are like tumbling and talking to, I mean, sales are down 40% year over year. And that was before the recession. And talking to a lot of the dealers locally, so for this month and last month, they actually bought more guns used than they actually sold new. Uh, it's slowed down significantly. So I think we are going to start seeing companies start advertising more because they do have the capacity, and it's like, well, now they start need to generating a bit more sales. But the companies, I think, are getting more selective in terms of how they advertise. Hopefully, that kind of gives you the background on that.
Mm-hmm.
How many scope companies did Right-On buy? So it wasn't Right-On
It's
that
not
bought it. It was the It was the company. From my understanding, it was the company that bought Right-On also bought Blackhound.
right.
Yeah. Like I said, so that was a good amount of it. So also keep in mind that even during the beginning of COVID, because if, let's say, for example, you are making a contract, let's say, for example, you're pick a company name and you want to advertise product, you're generally going to buy advertising 6 to 12 months ahead of time. So, like with a larger magazine. So, for example, like with Recoil, if you want to have an ad, if you go right now, the earliest ad that they'll be able to, the earliest place we'll be able to place your ad is probably 4 or 5 issues from now. And they're going to want to require a contract. Um, Same thing with larger YouTubers. Unless it's like a type of like a rush job almost or something, you're buying advertising for like 6 to 8 months ahead of time. And with some of the bigger media channels, they generally spend the vast majority of their marketing dollars during January period. So you had like this overlap of increased sales plus advertising that was bought before then, and then all of it ended, and that's why like there's a little bit of a dead space in between. But I definitely do think we're going to start seeing more and more of it. I mean, I've had more companies reach out about doing stuff with them because I mean they do kind of see it and they're going to need a little bit of extra help selling products. But I mean, on the flip side of that, also do keep in mind that more companies they're being more selective with actual print advertising because once again, who's in
Mm-hmm.
power? Democrats, and
Yep.
they have been suing what we're afraid of. Let's say, for example, if your Ruger AR-15 or Smith & Wesson AR-15 was used in a shooting, when they get sued, they're going to start showing, hey, look, you advertised this rifle in this magazine. So that's why, I mean, we're getting more cognizant of that. And that's why we're kind of like using intermediaries because if Blackhound sends a product out for a reviewer to review, well, that's not actually Blackhound advertising something. So it's, yeah, those are my rambling thoughts on the new Blackhound. So this Blackhound, I think it came out before they were working on this before the company bought both
So
Right On and Blackhound, correct? So actually, Derek would know this specifically more. Go ahead.
yes,
Since you
actually,
were,
I
are you still a pro shooter for Right On or no?
no, right on stopped the pro staff program before SHOT Show. So they got rid of the pro staff program, but I still have done stuff with Right On since. So all the new Blackhound line was uh, designed, made, and done before this other company came in and bought them out. So, like the Emerge line, I actually helped design that scope, me and 12 other guys. Um, tested the original prototypes and everything else, told them what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything. Um, Sad thing is I don't even know if I can launch the video I made for that from SHOT Show because the guy who did the video I went with is no longer with the company.
You can do it. Who
So
cares if he's not there anymore?
So I probably will launch it. I think I got to. Well, I don't have my computer up and running right now, so for editing anything, that's why you guys really haven't seen too much from me lately, except for little short things here and there on YouTube and Instagram. But no, the Emerge line has already been done and everything. When's it going to launch? Who knows? I didn't even know the Evolve line came out. I was supposed to get one of each scope, both the 5 to 25 by 56 and the 3 to 24 by 56 Emerge. Is it going to happen? Who knows? It was part of the deal that we did um, with 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 the whole design process and everything. But that company's gone through so many different management, and yeah, I don't know if that thing if they can get their shit on track and get their head out their ass, they could actually do something right. So, but we'll see how that runs. Right on, I've got nothing but great things to say about their customer service. I got my second scope I'm sending into them. They're going to take care of it, get me out another one. I ain't worried about it. So,
How did this one break?
I started getting some really bad distorting down on the glass, and you put it up on 12 magnification, and you couldn't read the 10th and the 12th and 10th mil area. It looked like a 50s broken TV, and by the end of the match, it started going up more. So I was like, well, I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to get this scope off the rifle. But all in all, I still really like that scope and the design and the model that it is. It was definitely a great scope design for PRS, but I no hurt feelings on it. They're gonna take care of me. I ain't worried about it. Um, I've had a lot of people tell me I should be going to Athlon, but Athlon doesn't seem to be working with anybody this year. So, at least everybody I know.
So, Drew, Freedom Gunworks still has 6.5 PRC, and now they have the Norma stuff, plus they have Precision Hunter 143 grain. They do have both of them in stock, so you can give them a call. They'll ship it out. They shipped it out to another channel member.
Keep an eye on Nozzler's website on their pro shop. They've been running deals on 6.5 PRC stuff, and from what I've been told, the Nozzler 6.5 PRC ammo is actually pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Athlon is the way and the light.
Athlon's a good company.
I'm not saying they're not a bad company. Not at all. I think they make a damn good product. I just don't have any time behind them. So I think I might just have to hit the pills and actually buy an Athlon scope and do a review on it.
Actually, this reminds me, I need to hit up Burris for that XTR Pro that was supposed to be coming my way.
Oh, man. Now we're talking. I looked at that one when we were at the MDT booth. Me and Pete from Impact Shooting.
It was on there.
Yeah, me and Pete from Impact Shooting were looking at it. Even though he's a Vortex fanboy, he even said it was a pretty damn good scope.
That was a really nice one. I'm actually waiting for the XTR2 version. The Burris is the new nice. Burris, not Burris, Steiner.
Okay. Yeah, I've tried reaching out to Burris. Never got no email back from him. But that's okay.
A giveaway for that would be great.
Right.
For the money and weight they carry the market. Yeah, if weight is an issue for you, absolutely. Hey, the Burris SCR2 Reticle is really nice, and that the XTR Pro is a fantastic scope. It's a fantastic scope. And you can talk to Ilya about that. I mean, he helped basically design the damn thing. Him and Sky.
Okay, Drew's got a question here real quick. Drew, what trigger are you talking about? What platform?
Fits into what?
A Ruger, a Remington, a Savage? Because there's only one true drop-in trigger I've seen for a Savage. That's like a Remington setup, and that's they're out of Iowa. Jard, yeah. But I just shot the new Elfman tactical trigger, their new Savage trigger, in my 300 PRC. Oh my god, what a trigger! Ruger RPR Gen 2. As far as I knew, Chimney had the market on that until, what do you call it, made the announcement.
RPR Gen. Yeah, I mean, so all of them are going to fit. So the only thing that Timney did was if you have the original. Here we go. Let me get my box of triggers.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, there's the one that doesn't exist yet. Well, this one
I'm,
truly doesn't exist because Diamond Trigger Tech did the stupid thing that Timney did originally. Well, actually, no, technically they didn't.
so what you're saying is I got to come to my house, come to your house, and get triggers I need. Okay.
That's Drew's trigger.
You heard it, Drew. He said
Okay.
that was your trigger. You might want to go over there and grab it.
All right, so this is the Gen 1 Timney trigger. When this one came out, Ruger redesigned it. It didn't work with the Magnums. They changed that up.
You mean Trigger
But
Tech?
no, Timney. So this
Oh,
Timney,
Timney
this
had
is the
that same.
Gen
Okay.
2. Yeah, so basically you had a cutout towards the back that, well, actually it was this part. And you can actually still see it in the packaging. So the packaging was cut out for this longer piece. If you have a Magnum, it goes in further, and this one actually works with both of them. So this actually does work. It drops in just fine. Um, as you saw, basically when Trigger Tech. So this one, once again, this trigger doesn't exist. I don't have it. Um, so this is a Trigger Tech Diamond for the RPR. But as you can see, so this works fine in regular ones, and then somebody tried using it in a Magnum, and they're like, oh crap, it doesn't fit in, because it was basically the same thing as the original. It was designed for Gen 1, Gen 2 standard frame Rugers. It wouldn't work with the Magnums. So after this, they had to go back and redesign it so it would actually work with both the large frame Magnums and the standard ones. Because, so what happened was, so Ruger has the custom shop Ruger precision rifle that Trigger Tech did the trigger for, and that's the special trigger in there. And what they literally did was they went off the same specifications and they redesigned it into the Diamond. But what they didn't realize is that they designed it for the small frame without taking into consideration the large frame. And that's what you have. So the new ones are going to be quite a bit different. So that's
Yeah,
that.
the only trigger I haven't redone yet in any of my rifles is my RPR rimfire. I really need to get a trigger for that one.
RPR rimfire?
Yeah.
I think I have one for that. I don't have a gun for that yet. Yeah, so that's this one.
Yeah,
So
see,
I asked Timony for a trigger for the RPR centerfire. They sent me this by mistake, the
oh, you
rimfire by
bastard.
mistake. Actually, no, it wasn't this one. I asked them for the one for the Ruger American centerfire. They sent me the Ruger Precision rimfire. I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, do you want this back? I'm like, I'm actually going to get one anyway, so we'll use that for that. But I will say, for the Ruger American centerfire, that Timney trigger is damn nice. Oh, and then
Yeah,
so
see,
basically, and then we do have the jarred trigger for the RPR as well.
yeah, see, the jarred trigger for the RPR you can actually use for the rimfire too.
This guy, you can, yeah, because it looks like a different design.
Yeah, there's an adapter that comes with it. I should
Although
probably
I
just
will
order
say,
one.
so Jarred sent me 3 triggers, and all 3 of the triggers crapped out. Well, sorry, 2 out of 3 crapped out. So I have this one, the Ultra Match for the 1022. It doesn't reset anymore. The spring in there gets kinked up. I haven't taken it apart. I haven't tested out the RPR one yet, but my set trigger for the AR-15, it looked like it wore off. So now it doesn't even set. Like, it just goes and then just breaks.
Damn.
Спасибо большое, and I'm glad that you're here. If you guys know how to use those, use what? What did we miss? Okay, I missed this comment.
He's asking if we actually know how to use those triggers. Yeah, if you want me to show you sometime, just let me know.
Yes!
So, I will come down with a stock Savage 110 tactical and a 20-inch barrel, and if you want to do FTR, we can do FTR with that. I mean, come on.
Ooh, there you go.
I'll do it with a stock rifle. I don't need no custom rifle. Come on.
I would do it for the CZ600. I would. All right, so what do you guys think? Should I keep the CZ600 as it is, or should I just sell it back to them and get my money back, and then wait for them to decide what they want to do?
Honestly, that's all on you. After the whole, I was super excited about that rifle. Then they didn't show up at SHOT Show, and then they made the stupid fucking announcement what they were gonna do to it, and I'm like, you just ruined that whole concept. And I was like, dude, that's pulling some bullshit right there.
So I said,
That's
what
pulling a
somebody
Biden.
needs, um, that rifle needs a chassis, but I don't think anyone's actually going to make a chassis. And so one of the issues that you
There's
have
no
with it is
point.
because you have a safety that's basically what I was afraid of. It was a separate thing, though. So actually, the safety is mounted as part of the trigger module, so it wouldn't be too difficult to.
I honestly don't think there's going to be any company that's going to jump on that rifle for aftermarket support. Period.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think that rifle's dead in the water, and it's more of a novelty piece than anything else.
Yeah.
Unless you can get something that you know that has some aftermarket support to it, I'd dump it.
Yep. Al, that's actually a good idea. So I mean, I'm not a 110 fanboy, but it's totally doable. Um, have you checked the headspace to make sure nothing has changed with it since you have it some time behind it now? So what I did was I had it out for two or three range strips. Then I took the rifle apart for parts for making the video, and everything was still tight to spec as it was supposed to. So apparently, what the primary issue is it's not the barrel itself getting loose. It's rather that it's still capable of being fired even if the barrel is not in and installed properly, if that makes sense. So I guess that's really kind of like what we're afraid of. And so CZ, I don't have anybody at CZ that I can talk to. And they have been quiet as far as I know on all of these issues. So
Yeah, they have, because I know they made a lemon,
yeah.
and they
But
just dumped about $10 million of R&D money out the window.
well, I don't think the rifle's gonna go anywhere. I mean, there's a lot of really good aspects to
Okay,
the rifle. I just think it was a
Let,
completely botched launch. Same
let's
thing
let's
with
look
Cal.
at now. I think Panther Hollow would probably even want to jump in on this one, and he might agree. He could disagree with me. Who is going to want to jump on a rifle, especially on something like that CZ600, that after they go back and redesign it, you're not going to be able to get another barrel for it if you shoot out that barrel. The whole thing is shot. You just bought a paperweight at that point.
Well,
Um,
except well, no. So you can do a barrel swap, but you have to send it to CZ in order to do it.
right.
So
So if that was your only rifle you owned, now you're out that rifle for how long?
okay,
8,
okay,
12,
Derek.
24,
But once
48
again,
weeks?
you're special. Now,
Well,
while me and you, we would be able to swap a barrel, the vast majority of the people are not. They're never going to shoot out a barrel. The vast
no.
majority of
But,
people aren't
but
never.
But what I liked about the CZ600 was it was easy to swap a barrel out on it, and on top of that,
Yes,
everything was already pre-headspaced with the
yes,
barrels, and you could go from Magnum bullface to 308 bullface in a matter of
yes,
minutes. And
yes.
it's like now you can't do that.
Correct.
So that's it. And for me, that's what kind of killed me with it, was because it was like, okay, if I want to go hunting with it, cool. I can put a 6.5 PRC barrel on and a Magnum bullface. I'm good to go.
Yep.
But now, if I just want to go do a range trip with it and blow 100 rounds of 308, I can't.
Correct.
I mean, that's the only thing that really sucks with it.
Yes. Sorry.
That's why I got really excited about the pristine action, because they gave you both a 308 bolt face and a 223.
Correct.
I could swap the barrels out, go shoot 223 all day long, and not break the bank.
Yep. Yes, I mean that's the completely weird part for me, because I said it's such. I mean, look, it's a good shooting rifle. It's a good shooting rifle. But once again, like the entire premise that I thought. So I mean, they went from it was supposed to be a rifle that had zero competition to now being a rifle that has a crap ton of competition and
Right.
nothing. And basically, and it's going to have a hard time competing because once again, I mean, is it bedded? No, not at all. Any Ruger American is going to have bedding in it. As Savages with the
Right.
with the AccuStock are going to have it. And then when you look at aftermarket, it's like, well, it's like you're not going to have a large aftermarket for this one, even if it develops, because it's like, okay, well,
No.
let's put it straight. The
It
way that the
took
conversation went,
Savage years to get a lot of
I
aftermarket
went
support.
into my local FFL where I bought the rifle, and they're like, oh crap! Like he sees me walking, he's like, oh crap, I forgot. CZ was calling us, hounding us to find you, so because they need the rifle back for the recall. And so when the guy called them and it says, hey, so CZ called the dealer and he's like, hey, we have a recall and I'm calling that our inventory, like the distributor said that you have a rifle. And he's like, oh, we sold it. He's like, oh shit. He was surprised that it actually sold, because apparently, like at most places, most of the rifles that went out were not sold.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's rough, but it's like there's so much to like about it. I mean, it's like if they added bedding to the stock, it would have been awesome.
Right.
But they didn't. So it's but you know what though? Like if you added that, I wonder how lights out that would shoot.
True.
That would be insane. All right, I'm going to answer this one question by Terrell. Thank you for joining. Are there any Jersey compliant PCCs? Lots of them. So Big Al already gave you one recommendation, which is the Ruger PC9 or PC Carbine. That is completely Jersey compliant. But if you go into your local FFLs, there's going to be plenty of ARs in 9mm that are made compliant. And that's before you consider like your non-NFA configuration ARs, which can have all the goodies. So there's definitely plenty of pistol caliber carbines that are Jersey compliant.
Nice. Yeah, PCC is something I definitely want to get into.
So here's a comment from a snob. Yeah, I'm not a factory gun guy. I shoot some just for a reason. And the CZ action are not as strong as the good old Remington. Yeah, so that's actually the other thing that we had with them. The CZ actions were not as strong. Plus, then they had 3 different actions. Well, technically 2 different styles. They had their tried and true Mauser actions, and then they had the new one, which is the 557, which was a push feed, and then the CZ cultist. I'm not going to say fanboys. I'm going to say CZ cultist. They're pissed off at CZ because they developed a push feed action, and it's like, well, that's not what CZ is supposed to be. So the 600 is, they called it a almost controlled round feed action. So on the way in, it's a push feed action as it feeds it from a magazine. Then once the round is chambered on the extraction, it's controlled all the way through. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yep. Alex said you can get more info njgunforums.com. NJ Guns Reddit. There's plenty of information on it, but yeah. Where in Jersey are you? I can give you some recommendations for stores. I think I'm going to finish shooting the couple extra videos, and then what I'll probably do is sell the rifle back to them because they'll give me all of my money back. And then when they're finally back available in stock, I'll buy one of the neutered ones for like a lot less.
You do. No.
I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
Although it's just such a nice rifle.
But okay, man, I gotta get going. I gotta be work extra early in the morning because it's my
Thank you
weekend to
for
work.
joining, bud. I'm glad you're still
Hey,
alive.
no problem. Oh yeah.
And
Let's.
I will hang around and answer some of these other questions.
Okay, man. I will see everybody later. You guys can reach me over at Northwest Guns, over on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook group. You guys can catch me over on LinkedIn at time from time. So if you guys have any questions, you guys have any comments, reach me up over there, and I will catch you guys on the next one.
Later, Derek.
Later.
All right, so he's out. All right, so um, if you're near Phillipsburg, so right in Phillipsburg, you have Tech Ops International. It's a store right off of 22. And he is actually the distributor for Troy non-NFAs, but he'll have all of them there for you. So go in there. You can speak with Santiago, really good person. Hopefully that answers that. Yeah, Tech Ops International. All right, with the push and 10 millimeter pistols, people can start looking at those. Yes. Was that you? Yeah, you sent me the message on Discord looking at 10 mils. Yeah, so there's definitely more growth in 10 millimeter pistols, or at least more popularity with those right now. 10 mil is interesting. So now so you've always had 1911s in 10 millimeter. Then you had XD. You had a Tanfoglia, which was a CZ clone. The problem with those Tanfos is if you stick it in the CZ75 type frame, the frames are a little thin. They start cracking from 10 millimeter. And then you had your Glocks. The Glock 20 is 10 millimeter, I believe. And that was fine, but except it's a huge brick. A good way of shooting 10 mil was the 610 revolvers by Smith & Wesson, which you can also shoot 40 Smith & Wesson in it if you wanted to. Then we have the new Smith & Wesson. If you have the Springfield XDM in 10 mil is actually a pretty nice gun. The 10 mil would actually be a pretty in XD is actually a really nice gun. I haven't shot the Smith in 10 millimeter. But I'll probably shoot 10 mil in a 1911 or a Bren 10. See if you can find an original Bren 10. But 10 millimeter became more popular again when states opened up hunting with pistol or straight walled cartridges. That's when 10 mil started, but that's also where, well, not started, restarted, I would say. And that's also with the growth of 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster, and all of those. I was supposed to, so at SHOT Show, I looked at a couple of 10 mil 1911s. I was supposed to get them. But the person who was working that marketing aspect is no longer involved with the importer. So, yeah, I can try to reach out to the manufacturer and get a couple of 10 mils, but it's definitely not necessary. But people are having fun with those. All right, so yeah, I don't get drunk. I don't drink a lot, but I can definitely give and take as well. Now, what I will say is, so well, you should have been there for the live stream at SHOT Show. So you have Ryan, Derek, um, Bullets for Bucks, Card Shark, and Affordable Optics, who are all staying in that same house, sharing the house. And some people did get pissed off at some others. And that is why I stay in my own room. But correct. You are correct on that part. Non-NFA items in Jersey, you do need no, you don't need a pistol permit, but you need an FID, but you do need to be 21. So all non-NFA items, because they do get treated, well, that's actually, it's a weird one. So for example, non-NFA in Pennsylvania gets treated as a pistol. Non-NFA in Jersey, by ATF standards, so let's put it, you need to be 21, but you don't need a pistol permit, if that makes sense. And I have 3 or 4 videos on those. So just look for the channel. I have a non-NFA playlist, where, see, and because it's a live stream, I can't just bring a firearm onto here because that would quickly get banned. But I have the one from Troy. I've shot the one from DSI. It really depends. So for example, if you want an AR style trainer, get a non-NFA in 9mm or something like that. If you just want a good pistol caliber carbine that's going to be cheaper, get a Ruger PC carbine. And you can still get all the fun stuff. I mean, there's a ton of accessories for them. Yeah, so I don't know the other guys personally. I think Cyclops Joe would probably get pissy. He seems like the type. Um, Maybe Chris would, because there was another thing with a different YouTuber, and there's somebody who's just making shit up. But yeah, I am sure some people can get easily riled up. Generally, I'm pretty good with that. All right, we are approaching 2 hours, and I think I am almost there. Is the video still choppy, or did it clear up? Okay. As long as they're available, non-NFA others are probably the best options in Jersey. Okay. So I would say 2 aspects to this. Karchar, can you please ban him, because it's not La Pua, it's Lapua. Lapua, that's the proper pronunciation for it. All right. So going back to the non-NFA thing. Right now, they're perfectly legal. Sorry for the chair. Right now, they're perfectly legal, but Jersey is looking at ways of banning them. The problem is Jersey gun laws in particular, because the way that the law was written, the definition. So Jersey assault weapons ban was written for long guns. And so you have laws for long guns, you have laws for handguns. Non-NFA is technically, it's a firearm. So the way that the laws are on the books, they don't mention anything with the non-NFA firearms configuration. So that's why they're legal, and same thing for Connecticut. You didn't have this issue in New York because New York, it described the laws, the assault weapons ban was mentioning firearms with features rather than long guns with features or handguns with features. So that's why we're fine right now. Jersey can go back and they can amend it, but for some reason they haven't. So, and this is actually a great point. So, I obviously, so the first 2 that came and were legal in Jersey was the Troy and the Darkstorm Industries. I have really good relationship with both companies. Neither one expected these to last more than 6 to 12 months, and that's why there's such a big push. I mean, we're going on 3 years now, or it's going to be close to 3 years very soon. And for whatever reason, like, as far as I know, they tried to do something administratively, but it just didn't work. They would have to go back and amend the laws. And for whatever reason, for just pushing new stuff, for not going back and banning the non-NFA configuration. So it's like, Who knows? But they can easily do it. Well, not easily. I mean, well, it's a process. However, they do have the required votes for it. So that's why I don't know why not. But for example, like a Ruger PC carbine, it would just it's legal. Elfman is my go-to trigger now. Slowly, yeah. So I mean, Elfman. I knew them for AR triggers. I never really considered them for long guns. Have a good night, bud. Thanks for popping by. No, so I don't get riled up really. Maybe if I have a drink or two, I might a little bit. No, actually, what kind of gets under my skin is when people call Hornady Hornaday. It's like there's no freaking A at the end. It's like just completely stupid. Lapua it's more of a joke. It doesn't bother me because most people pronounce it Lapua. The proper way to pronounce it is Lapua. No, Hornaday, that Hornaday gets under my skin, and I think sometimes a little bit Leopold. I don't know why people call Leupold Leopold. There's like spelled differently. Um, oh, and Segas. Although now that we don't have, sorry, now that we don't have Segas anymore, that's like not really an issue. It's okay. It's totally fine. Come on, you've been around long enough to know. Yeah, so Hornaday, Sega, Leopold. Those are probably the only three things in the gun industry that kind of irk me a little bit. Hornaday the most. That's just fucking nuts. The worst is when it's actually company employees who actually say that. That's just ridiculous. It's like it's Hornady. Yep, that's basically that. You're quite info. I'm glad we're actually able to be helpful. All right. So, over 2 hours, success. But thanks again, honestly, everybody. I freaking love seeing you guys, as always. So, like I said, I do have 4 videos that are completely recorded. They're just almost in various stages of edited, and they will be out. So you're gonna have. Once again, if you're not a channel member yet, become a channel member. We're doing another giveaway just for channel members. That's going to be the tripod. Next month, I'm actually going to try to get a scope or two, or a tuner or two. That'll be fun. We have video wise, so once again, you're going to have the CZ600 detailed video. Like I said, we got it out to 700 yards, got some great drone footage. Then the Blackhound CZ, I'm sorry, the Blackhound Evolve. Then I got to send the scope back to Alex, and then buying a suppressor with BDU. So those are the next 4 videos. Everybody says Ruger as we typically hear it, but phonetically Rugar. Yeah, actually, that wouldn't bug me. That would not bug me. You know what? So somebody saying Leopold Hornaday. What was the other one? Leopold Hornaday. Well, damn it! What's the other one? I keep forgetting it now. Not Lapua. There's one more in there, but that actually bothers me more than when somebody calls it a clip instead of a magazine. Granted, I almost did go ape shit on somebody at the local FFL, but then it turns out they actually like, wait, I think I've seen some of your videos. I'm like, all right, fine. That's always fun. All right, so screw you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Seriously, thank you guys. Always really definitely do appreciate it. I think all the medical MRI, CTs, all that stuff is clean. I am actually getting back out there, getting into the groove of things, and it'll be a pretty busy next couple of months. And like I said, if there's content that you want to see, do let me know and we can kind of prioritize it a little bit. And like I said, we'll definitely have quite a few more giveaways, channel member giveaways as well. And do that. We need magazine stickers that say clip on them. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. We'll see about that. And thank you on that. And we are going to do, so probably next week, since it's going to be approaching end of the month, we'll do a member only live stream where we will do the drawing for the separate tripod for that. So once again, it's a Sunway TL3240. So it's the same one as we did last time, except this has the twist lock. It has the lever locking legs instead of the collars. And I'll have a video on that in the next day or two. I'm almost done editing that video. I do not have that tripod here. No, it's in the car. But it's a really cool tripod. Really, really nice tripod for regular general range usage. I couldn't hang off of it. I would have to tighten up the twist locks a little bit more. But the twist locks are not as strong as the collar locks. But it's still going to be an incredible value. So, member only live streaming next week. And we'll have like 1 or 2 videos next week as well and get back into the groove thing. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. I appreciate every single one of you. Drew, thank you again, buddy, for updating your credit card and becoming a channel member once again, and go from there. So good night, and I'll see you in the next video.